everyone, it's Sarah from sarahannCreations.blogspot.com. Today I wanted to share with you this cute and easy card project. As many of you may know, my previous videos were DIY wedding videos, where I shared with you some DIY projects I did for my own wedding. Well, my wedding was well over a year ago, and I've been deciding what to do with my channel. And I have decided to keep sharing crafting videos with you. Things that, in particular, I like to do. And card making happens to be one of those things, and I hope that you enjoy them as much as I enjoy making them. And hopefully this is one of many, many more to come. So this is going to be the card we're starting with today. It's a simple thinking of you card, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get started. The supplies you will need for this project are, first of all, a card base, which I have chose to do white, and I will give you all the measurements in a second. And then for the layer on top of the white card base, I wanted to do craft cardstock, and then the design on the front of it is just a simple strip of paper that's been punched, and then 3 little pieces of paper that look like banners hanging underneath. And those papers I got from the Lost and Found blush collection. It's a 6x6 paper pad. And these are the papers I chose to use: this blue damask, this tan polka dot, and then this pink stripe, and then the paper on the back, which is a pink polka dot. And I'll go ahead and give you all of the measurements right now. If you aren't familiar with card making, that's okay. I will go ahead and go over some of the basics with you. So to make a card base, as you can see, this is what it looks like. So it's 8.5 by 5.5. So all you're going to do is take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and you're just going to cut it down the center at 5.5. Once you do that, you'll have 2 card bases, and all you do is score it right at 4.25. And then you fold it in half, and you take your bone folder and you just crease it really well. And that's all you need to do for a card base. The second layer, usually, now this is most of the time, will get cut at 5.25 by 4, just so that you have a nice little border around your card. See how it has a nice even border around the outside. So those are the 2 components we're going to start with. And then for the banners and the strip of paper, you're just going to take your piece of paper, and I kept it at 6, and I cut it at 1 inch tall. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it down to the size of this piece of paper. So I'm going to trim it down to 5.25, which will give me something like this. So if you can see, it'll line up perfectly. So that's going to be the strip of paper for the front, and we're going to go ahead and use this border punch. I'm not really sure what it's called, but it's by EK Success. And we're just going to line it up and punch. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Like that. So now that strip of paper is complete. Then we're going to take the other colors we're using. I just cut strips of paper from the main pieces of paper, and this one's about 1 inch tall, and this one's about 1.5 inches tall. So then what you're going going to do is I just trimmed off 3/4 of an inch from each of these. So that gave me 1 inch by 3/4 of an inch. And then this is 1.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch. And with this piece of paper, when we trimmed off that end to 5 1/4, you were left with this little piece. So whatever size piece that is that's left over from your 6-inch piece, just use that and flip it over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trim the banner pieces. And we do that by taking our scissors. And all I do to make a banner is I eyeball the center and I just trim up as far as I want the banner to go. Then I come to the corners and I'm just going to trim up to that center slit that I made. I'm just going to do that on the other side as well. And there's one banner. And I'll do that to the rest of these. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive on all 3 of these pieces, just towards the very top. Sorry if you can't see. But it's just a line of adhesive right at the very top of these. And I'm doing it on the right side, the side that I want facing up, because when I layer them, I want them facing up on this piece of paper. So, what I'm first going to do is I am going to layer this pink piece because it comes first. And I'm just going to line it up where I want it. Make sure to leave some room for the other pieces. And I'm going to line this up and press it down, just like that. Then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to hold this over and just going to line it up where I want it. And right there is pretty good. And you just press down. Then you're going to take the last piece and you're just going to line that one up as well. And that's good. So now I have all 3 of my banner pieces attached to my paper strip. Then we're going to bring in this little mat right here. I'm going to turn this over and I'm just going to put some tape on the back of this piece. And I'm going to put a little bit on the banners just to make sure that they stay down and they're secure. Then all I'm going to do is take my craft cardstock and I'm going to just line it up on my mat some. And then I'm going to lay this down right where I want it. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is, you can see on here, there's a ribbon piece. So I'm going to take my ribbon, which is right here, and I'm going to do the cheater method that I mentioned in my invitations, I believe. I'm just going to trim it off just so that I can overlap it to the back. I'm going to take some tape. It's kind of a big piece, but oh well. I'm just going to line it up where I want it. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to tape one side. Just like that. Then I'm going to flip it back over to make sure that I line it up or exactly where I want it. And then flip it right back over and tape that side. Now I'm ready to do some embossing. So embossing is what I did right here. It just gives it a nice shine and a texture to it. So what you do, you're going to take the Versamark. It's a watermark stamp pad, but it's great for embossing. And you're going to have my Thinking of You already mounted on my block, and I'm just going to tap it, make sure there's enough ink on it, and then I'm going to line it up where I want it and press. And then I have my white embossing powder in this little container right here. And if you have one of those Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo like powder bags where you can make sure that your excess powder doesn't stick to anywhere you don't want it to, you can use that. I don't have one of those, and I usually use a dryer sheet, but I don't currently have one, so I'm just going to take a paintbrush and lightly remove any of the excess powder that might be on here that I don't want to melt. There we go. And then I'm just going to take my heat tool, pardon the noise. And sometimes the heat tool can warp your paper a little, but sometimes heating it from the back can help straighten it back out. But just like that, there you go. Now we're going to put this down onto our card base. And I just go around all the edges to ensure that it'll stay down. And then I put some right over the ribbon, since the ribbon is a little dimensional on the back. And then I'm just going to line it up and press it down. Now, the last couple of things we need to do is make the little bow on the front, or the knot. So I just take a little piece of ribbon and I just trim it to about the size I want. And I'm just going to take our small piece of ribbon and tie it in a knot. Just like that. And we're going to trim our ends so that they are on a diagonal. And I'm going to go ahead and heat seal the ends, just to make sure that they don't fray. Like that. And then our last step is just to do a little faux stitching around the edge of the card. And there's our completed card. So that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.